He's the former president and publisher of the Sun Herald, and now he's on the radio. Welcome to Coast View with Ricky Matthews on SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1.
I hope you're having a great day. Welcome to Coast View, the show that celebrates the men and women who are making coastal Mississippi a better place to live, work, and play. Today we're going to have a Coast View session with fitness expert and best-selling author Robbie D'Angelo. Robbie was actually been scheduled for a while, but the timing couldn't have been better. We're going to get to Robbie in just a second. As I said yesterday, I'm going to use this opportunity and actually depart a bit from the usual Coast View approach and give you an update on the coronavirus situation here in coastal Mississippi. I'm going to start a process to better understand the impact and the need for social distancing and the result of the business closures that we're going to have. What's the overall impact on the economy? What's the impact on jobs, on housing, on healthcare, on the nonprofit community? What about schools? What about our leadership? How they're doing? The list really goes on and on. In fact, I saw John McFarland yesterday from the Red Cross, and he assures me that there is no risk in giving or receiving blood, that they are doing smaller blood drives so donors won't be in large groups, and so that they have the proper spacing maintained for social distancing. Prospective donors will have their temperature taken before they even enter into the facility, and all chairs, laptops, tables, everything is disinfected after each donor. Because many blood drives have been canceled and they're being replaced now by other drives, you can visit redcrossblood.org, redcrossblood.org, to find the drive that's nearest you. You can also make an appointment online. John said that it's a critical situation now, that they are working through shortages, and we've got a lot of work to do to get us where we need to be as it relates to the needed blood supply. Also, I had a conversation with Todd Trenchard this morning from the Baco McCarty Foundation. He told me that the Home of Grace, the faith-based addiction recovery center in Jackson County, has closed temporarily. So the 150 people that were there in the middle of their recovery have been sent home. That's just an example of how our community is being impacted on so many different levels, and we're going to try to get our arms around some of that. We've got to immediately start to understand the whole process so we can better understand what it looks like on the other side of this. I call it the coronavirus storm. We're used to using those kind of phrases. Tomorrow we're going to have Vincent Creel, the public affairs manager for the city of Biloxi. We're also going to have John Miller, the chief of police for the city of Biloxi. And on Friday, we're going to have a very timely conversation with Clay Williams, the executive director of the Gulfport International Airport Authority. And boy, that could not have come at a better time. And he's going to give us an update about what's happening at the airport these days. And next week, we're going to have Coast View sessions with Milton Segura from Coastal Mississippi Tourism. Again, timely conversation. He can talk to us about kind of where we are and already the kind of conversations that are taking place to once we get on the other side. And also Al Hopkins, the chairman of the State Gaming Commission. I mean, he's going to be in a position too to talk about impact and the kind of plans that are underway to help us understand what does the other side look like. Think of Coast View as sort of a real-time assessment of the situation. But the message that we continue to hear from state and federal government continues to be very clear. We are not powerless to this virus. While there is not a vaccine, the single tool that works best is social distancing. We must take this to heart, like our lives and the lives of our family members depend on it. We must all stay focused on changing our behavior and understanding what it means to do social distancing. A single person's behavior can cause a ripple effect that impacts a lot of different people. The goal of social distancing is ultimately to flatten the curve, to slow down the exponential growth of the disease. And keep in mind, as a key White House official said the other day, you're always behind where you think you are. And the reason why is because there is an up to 2-week delay in symptoms. So while someone may think they don't have it, they may actually have it and be spreading it. So educate yourself and educate your family. Be ready for it, especially focus on the most vulnerable among us. It only takes one person in your family to be careless, and everyone could get sick. So my advice to you is to do what we do when a hurricane is approaching. Prepare yourself. Understand what preparation looks like as it relates to this specific virus. Make sure everyone in your family is educated. And I will say this too. This is kind of strange times. I walked outside this morning and it felt like, maybe there was a hurricane coming, but it was kind of pretty outside. And that's just strange. And we should acknowledge that we feel that way. And we're gonna have some discussion about that here in just a second. But remember, this too shall pass. We're amazing people in coastal Mississippi. We've weathered so many storms, and we're gonna weather this one as well. But please do your homework, educate yourself and your family, and more than anything, practice social distancing. Now, since a lot of coast folks go to many gyms across the coast, and they do different things to be able to stay healthy, today's session will focus on how do we stay healthy when we're hunkered down. And this doesn't just necessarily apply to the people who are already doing these things. It could be an opportunity for you if you're not doing things to make your mind healthy and your body healthy. While we're in this hunkered down mode, maybe there's some things you can learn that will help you. And so that's why this meeting today, this opportunity today with Robbie D'Angelo is a really, really good moment. So welcome to the studio, Robbie.
Ricky, thank you for having me this morning. I'm excited to be here. Even though we're not exactly practicing social distancing right now, this is still an opportunity to come together and help some people.
Yeah. So how far is this, you think? 4 feet?
Yeah, we're good 4 or 5 feet.
Yeah. So I made Robbie rub down before he came in the building. So we're gonna do better at that as we go forward. But Robbie, I've been paying attention to you on Instagram and through your social media, and I can tell that the people that you're engaged with are already thinking about, how's this going to impact me? People who can't make it to the gym, they're frustrated. People who feel like maybe their work's been disrupted in some way and their regular working out or regular eating schedule has been disrupted. There's a lot of frustration, and certainly we should acknowledge that, but there's things they can do to get better, and we're going to get into that. But you're hearing a lot of that, aren't you?
Oh, absolutely. I literally asked my audience yesterday, what emotions are you dealing with right now? And the frustration, the isolation, the unknowing is stuff they're dealing with right now, and they're looking for answers. But I think at the same time, there's an opportunity in the current situation we're in.
Yeah, I agree too. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt.
100%.
Fear, uncertainty, and doubt. It affects each of us. It affects our work life. It affects the markets. When there's a high degree of fear, uncertainty, and doubt, it's an unsettling situation. And, clarity will come, but it may take some time. And in the meantime, people just need to be aware of what can they do to manage the frustration and the anxiety. Because the anxiety is probably a big issue right now, isn't it?
Oh, 100%. I think that's probably the biggest issue we're dealing with right now because of the uncertainty. People don't know how long they're going to be isolated for. They don't know, let's be real, they don't know how much they're going to have access to groceries, their necessities, getting to the pharmacy, taking care of loved ones. They don't know the answers as far as the outcome of all this. So the anxiety is building up because they can't find those answers because they're not out there yet.
And I know that one of the things that you have focused on, that's why you talk a lot about human optimization.
Right.
One of the things you're focused on is that it's not just about physical fitness. It's about what's happening in your head and how you think about yourself, how you think about the process of being healthy. All of those things are sort of wrapped up in your current approach, isn't it?
It is, because, from my own journey, I realized that mental fitness was just important as physical fitness. And honestly, most people practice physical fitness for their mental health. And it goes one on one with each other. And right now, with mental health probably being one of the biggest things we need to concentrate on, you have to maintain your physical health to maintain your mental health. Absolutely.
Well, you and I have talked about this, but in 1980, I started kind of working out. And other than a couple of little minor surgeries along the way, I haven't missed a week of working out. And I'm 62 years old now. And, one of the things about living a healthy life, which my wife Ann and our kids try to lead, is that it makes you feel good. And one of the things that you said at the beginning is that you meet a lot of people who don't know what feeling good feels like. Talk about that for a second.
Yeah, when I first start working with people and I get them doing this amazing thing like eating healthy and getting away from bad foods and start exercising again, a lot of people about a week or 2 weeks into the process realize how bad they were feeling. And they didn't know it because in today's society, feeling bad is the new normal. Mm-hmm. I mean, who do you talk to most of the time besides people that are in the industry that don't complain about their health in one way? So feeling bad is a new normal. When people actually start eating healthy and exercising, they realize that, hey, lowering inflammation and having clear thoughts and actually seeing bright colors and being able to move through the day without pain feels really good. And that's supposed to be the normal, but because of the way that we eat and we sit at desk jobs, we just don't understand that anymore.
And then when you're depressed or you have anxiety, you might have a tendency to kind of move a little bit more toward a beer or a glass of wine or whatever they might do. It's kind of a recipe for some bad things to happen to you.
It is.
So what we're going to do when we come back, though, we're going to have a conversation about where does Robbie come from and where does he develop so much confidence about his ability to convey to you some things that you might be able to do while you're hunkered down that could change your life. So that's kind of what this meeting, this Coast View session is going to be about. So we'll be back with Robbie D'Angelo after this break.
Also listen live to SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1 on your Amazon Alexa devices. Once you've enabled the skill, just say, Alexa, open SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast.
Are you ready to invest in your future and work with a Southern brand you know and trust? Janny King, the king of clean, is in very high demand right now in this area. So we're looking for motivated, customer-oriented people who want to pursue the dream of working for themselves, but not by themselves. Go to JannyKingCleans.com now and see how our proven track record can help you become financially independent with a company that has been cleaning for over 30 years. That's JannyKingCleans.com.
Janny King, the king of clean.
Hot Mississippi summers and hurricane seasons are a big part of life on the coast. Solar Control is here to help. Solar Control, the coast exclusive 3M window film dealer since 1975, specializes in commercial, residential, and automotive window tinting. 3M window films reduce up to 78% of the sun's heat and reduces unwanted glare. 3M safety and security films protect you and yours from destructive weather and crime. Visit Solar Control in Ocean Springs on Bechtel Boulevard. Call 872-0805 or visit solarcontrolinc.com.
Have you wanted to speak a new language, but you thought it'd be too hard or take too much time? Then go to Babbel.com, download the app, and try it for free. In just 15 minutes a day, you'll be on your way to speaking a new language in just a few weeks. And right now, you can try Babbel for free. Babbel starts out teaching you words and phrases by matching them with pictures. You won't believe how easy the interactive program is. Soon the sentences get a little bigger, and before you know it, you're having simulated conversations voiced by native speakers. And because Babbel is crafted by language experts and uses the spaced repetition method, in just 10 to 15 minutes a day, you'll be speaking the language of your choice with real confidence. With Babbel, you can speak a language. Just go to Babbel.com and start your first lesson in the language of your choice for free. Download the Babbel app or go to Babbel.com and try it for free. That's Babbel.com.
Sometimes the issues of life require the assistance of a professional. Whether it involves an asbestos-related disease such as mesothelioma, personal injury from an accident, a real estate issue, or even an impending arrest charge, you need the help of an attorney. Cumbest, Hunter & McCormick have more than 100 years combined experience representing the interests of Jackson County and Gulf Coast clients. Cumbest, Hunter & McCormick, proud to support the Ole Miss Rebels. 762-5422, cchmlawyers.com.
Ugh, I've got to get that fixed.
Uneven driveways causing headaches? Helms Polyfoam will fix it without tearing up your driveway in the process. We inject Polyfoam under settled concrete to stabilize it in a matter of minutes, not days. Polyfoam is used on runways, railways, and highways, so there is no question it will support your driveway. We also repair seawalls, sidewalks, pond dams, retaining walls, and unstable soil. Visit HelmsPolyfoam.com or call Helms Polyfoam at 601-966-7821.
This is Coast View with Ricky Matthews on SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1.
Welcome back to Coast View. We have Robbie D'Angelo. He's a human optimization coach. He's also a best-selling author. And he's going to, before we get to the end of this session, we're going to talk about some things that people can do while you're hunkered down to maybe help change your mindset, maybe help you become more physically fit. But we'll focus on sort of the mental aspect of it a lot today as we get through this. But I want you to hear Robbie's story. And what I remember so well, Robbie, about you is that you were this big offensive lineman at Southern Miss who became an All-American. And look at you today. So what an incredible transformation that's been for you. And as I mentioned before the meeting, it's like there are these iterations of yourself where you're constantly searching for now the best version of yourself. And you seem to have landed in a really good spot. How do you feel about where you are now?
Where I'm at now, I mean, I love what I do for a living. I love the ability to be able to turn my mess into a message and just pour my passion into helping people, because I know what the darkness feels like. I know what it's like to be in those lows. So the ability now to, of course, like it took me a long time to learn these new skills because it's not natural for me to do anything I'm doing right now. But just the ability to live in my passion and help people for a living, it just, every day I wake up before the alarm clock, just excited for the day. What
a great way to approach life. You started your life, though, in a way that you were always working to meet other people's expectations.
100%.
So let's go back a little bit and let's take people through that journey.
So growing up, I was pretty much obese my entire life. I was a big baby, but weirdly enough, I was the smallest baby in my family. But from an early age, I didn't know at the time, I developed an emotional eating disorder where I felt a lot of internal pressure on myself. It wasn't from my parents, it wasn't from anybody else, but just like looking from the outside, looking in at my parents' journey, my older brother's journey, I put a lot of pressure on myself, and the way I filled that void was with food. And that continued all the way through high school. In high school, I put on 20 pounds every year I was in high school, and ended up playing college football at Southern Miss. And my senior year at Southern Miss, I ballooned up to, I think the biggest I ever got was 308 pounds.
Man.
Yeah, so,
on that frame.
On this frame right here. I mean, I'm 6'2", which is decently tall, not for college football, not for the position I was playing, but I was 308 pounds. And I think kind of the turning point when I was in college was, even though I was having all this success on the field, being an All-American, being a finalist for the best center in the country, I was having success on the field, what people thought was success. But inside I was dying, man. I was struggling. I developed a, not going to say an addiction, but I was taking Lortabs every day to play through all the pain. I had 4 knee surgeries my senior year of football alone. Didn't realize it till about 10 years later. But during my junior season, I actually broke a chunk of bone off in my shoulder and just played through it, like a lot of football players do. So my senior year, I would say it was a painful year physically. But what a lot of people don't really think about is when you're playing through that much pain for that long of a time, the mental toll that takes. I mean, I was drinking 3 or 4 nights a week just to dull the pain. I was a complete shy introvert. So my senior year, it was a mental battle to get through. And actually, the All-American team I made was Mark May's All-American team for the players who played with the most pain through the year.
Wow.
So
nothing to be proud of, though, is it?
Right, exactly. So I'm sitting there after my final game in recovery from double knee surgery, and I'll be honest with Ricky, I was just sick and tired of being sick and tired. Mm-hmm. I was sick and tired of being depressed, sick and tired of just being in pain. And for the first time in my life, I decided that, you know what, your football days are over. There's no need for you to be this big anymore. And I was like, okay, let's conquer the one thing that has bothered you your entire life, which is your weight. And within the course of a calendar year after my senior year, I was in grad school at Southern Miss at the time, I lost about 105 pounds, which sounds like a lot of weight, but I'm kind of a nerdy analytical guy. That's only 2 pounds a week. And that was my focus. I just focused on 2 pounds a week. And I knew if I did that it would add up to big results. And that's what happened. But, what I tell people all the time is losing 105 pounds was the easy part. Keeping it off for 10 years was the hard part. Mm-hmm. And then even more important than that, the mental weight loss that I had to go through was 100 times more important than the physical weight loss.
Mm-hmm. It is a mental game, isn't it?
It's 100% a mental game.
And you had difficult times through all this process. It wasn't like you lost 105 pounds and everything was going to be rosy after that. You went through several more difficult chapters in your life. Tell about that.
Yeah, I use the analogy all the time. There's a reason that 95% of the people who go on the show Biggest Loser gain the weight back, because they do it in this in a confined bubble where life is not happening to them. They're not exposed to children, jobs, anything like that. So when I lost my weight and entered the real world, I still had no clue who I was and what I wanted to do with my life. So I'm trying different things. I'm trying to build a career. I'm trying to start a business. I'm trying to do all these different things. And I'm still doing nothing more than looking for ways to fill voids in my life.
And the way you described it in some of what you've written is that you were chasing the American dream.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Which was, getting back to the whole reality of becoming something that you thought people expected of you.
Right, absolutely. I mean, growing up with my parents in the school system, I had all kinds of parents growing up. I mean, I literally had a full team of football coaches that were my parents. The people my mom taught with were also my parents. And I'd look at their lives and I'm like, okay, that's what it looks like. Like the people that I was surrounded with every day, like that's what I'm supposed to look like one day. So when I got out of college, that's what I thought I needed to do. I thought I needed to get a good career, get a home over my homestay in, find a wife. Like, that's completely South thinking. As soon as you get out of college, you better be married.
Yeah.
So I was pursuing all this, but it wasn't something that in my heart I knew I wanted to be doing. It was something that, okay, this will make parents happy. This will make my friends think I'm cool. This will give me the validation that I've been searching for.
And it didn't.
No, absolutely not. No. So I went through some more hard times. I mean, I lost my business. Me and my fiance broke up. My apartment got broken into. Everything got stolen, all within a 3-month period. So at 27 years old, I was moving back in with my parents. And it was just a shock to me, because it was the first time in my life where I really tried to do something and it didn't work. So I was struggling bad with the thoughts of being a failure. Mm-hmm. And those thoughts of being a failure led me to probably the darkest depression of my life. I mean, I'd struggled with depression my entire life, just with me always thinking I wasn't good enough. But this was the first time that I tried something and failed. So not only was I thinking I wasn't good enough, but now I had what I thought was proof that I wasn't good enough. So for the next probably 8 months, I mean, I was in a dark place, near suicidal. I mean, there was actually one night where I was going to do it. I had the bottle of, from having so many knee surgeries, I literally had the bottle of pills in my hand, just saying, you know what, you tried, and it's, you're not good enough, bro. Like, you just got to stop it now.
So what clicked?
For me, what clicked was I've always enjoyed learning from people that were doing something in their life. I've always kind of leaned into personal growth, just not really understanding what real personal growth was. I've always been inspired by stories, like most of us are. And I read a book called The Traveler's Gift by Andy Andrews, a phenomenal book that I recommend to everyone. And there's a chapter in that book that literally that night where I'm holding that bottle of pills in my hand, there's a chapter in that book that talks about how you're meant for more. And it just it came over me in this fear. And it was a fear, not a fear of dying. It was a fear of living my life. And it's still a fear to this day. And I'm in that moment when it started, it's a fear of getting to the end of my life and meeting the man that God made me to be and have him be a complete stranger. Mm-hmm. That's a fear of mine now. Mm-hmm. And I started thinking about that, man, you've been an All-American, you have your MBA in finance, you've done so many incredible things. You're not meant to work 70 hours a week, go home, watch Netflix, and go to bed every night. That's not what you were put on this earth to do. So in that moment, I made a commitment to myself. And, this was a journey. I made that commitment to myself to, hey, you've got to get out of here. You've got to get out of this darkness. So for me, physical health has always been kind of my jumping point. So I just made a commitment to go to the gym. Mm-hmm. And I said, I don't care how good the workout is, you're going to show up. I made the commitment to show up and walk through the door. And there was days I'd show up and walk through the door and work out for 5 minutes and go home. But I stayed committed to it. And what that did, staying committed to going to the gym for me personally, started giving me confidence back in my own personal integrity, saying I'm going to keep the commitments I make to myself.
That's amazing. Andy Andrews, incidentally, I spent time in Alabama, had the opportunity to meet him, and had a very good friend who was very good friends with him. And his story and his inspiration, it continues today. He's incredible what he has done. If you really want to kind of get motivated, Andy would be a really good one to read. So we're going to be back with Robbie D'Angelo after this. We'll continue his journey and then begin to shift gears about what he has found through this journey that works. Things that you can begin to think about as you are hunkered down, and use this potentially as an opportunity to improve yourself, even with all this coronavirus stuff going on. So we'll be back after this break.
Subscribe for free to the Coast View podcast on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
From the Singing River Electric and Coast Electric Newsroom, your news now.
According to the latest numbers from the Mississippi Department of Health, Mississippi now has 21 cases of coronavirus, which includes an additional case at Ocean Springs, and 1 case in Harrison County, 1 in Hancock County, and 2 in Pearl River County. Due to growing concerns of the spread of the coronavirus, Mississippi Coast Coliseum has postponed the Crawfish Music Festival that was scheduled for April 15th through the 19th. The Coliseum's Matt McDonald says they're working hard to reschedule the festival for June. Jazz Fest in New Orleans has also been postponed until the fall. Exact dates have not yet been determined. And a new deal in New Orleans will keep Drew Brees with the Saints for 2 more years. The deal's worth $50 million. The Saints plan to place a first-round tender on Taysom Hill with a qualifying offer of just under $5 million. And it looks like Teddy Bridgewater is headed towards Carolina, and Tom Brady could be playing at Tampa. For SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1, I'm Kyle Curley.
Favorite thing about my street?
It's quiet.
Safe. The people.
We rely on each other.
And we rely on our Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
The co-op isn't just about electricity.
It's about power.
The power of information, efficiency,
safety,
technology.
That's why whenever I have a question about energy,
I always call my Touchstone Energy Cooperative first.
Because in my community,
I am the co-op. And the co-op
is me.
Brought to you by Coast Electric and Singing River Electric, your Touchstone Energy Cooperatives.
When the power goes out, you feel helpless. Stumbling in the dark, especially during a hurricane, is dreadful. Bay Motor Winding wants you to have your comfort and independence. A Briggs & Stratton standby generator system from Bay Motor Winding will automatically power your entire home, keeping the lights, appliances, and cooling running smoothly. Select Briggs & Stratton generators come with a 10-year parts and labor warranty. Visit baymotorwinding.com before the power goes out.
The Love Help Hotline.
I'm in love with 2 different...
We get this call a lot. Let's start off with their names.
Okay, Double Shop and PJ's. I love them both so much.
Double Shop, One Stop, and PJ's Coffee, like the businesses off Exit 50 in Ocean Springs.
You know them?
Hey, Marv, we've got another one.
It's too much for me to handle. The state's largest selection of beers on one side, the world's best coffee and sandwiches on the other at PJ's. Party supplies at Double Shop, party cake pops at PJ's.
Okay, listen, bucko, I'm going to say this once. PJ's now sells some of Double Shop's premier brands on tap, like Chandelier Island Brewing Company and Southern Prohibition. Plus, Double Shop dropped off a nice selection of bottled beers, including some hard seltzers. And if you like growlers... Don't do that. Double Shop One Stop, just 50 yards north of Exit 50 on the right, and PJ's Coffee right across the street. Ocean Springs Latimer now has the best coffee on the coast, plus craft beer on tap, sandwiches, and other goodies.
Are your drains draining slow? MasterFlowPlumbing.net. Are your faucets leaking or toilets clogged? MasterFlowPlumbing.net. Masterflow Plumbing, from water to sewer lines, toilets to water heaters, or faucets to clogged drains. If it has a pipe and quits flowing, Masterflow will keep it going. See a leak in your kitchen, bath, or yard? Call Masterflow Plumbing or visit MasterFlowPlumbing.net. Residential or commercial, we know leaks inside and out. Proudly serving the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Visit us at MasterFlowPlumbing.net.
Just like money in your pocket, that's super fun. When you trade with us, you always get our best. Super deals are why, whether you sell or buy. We cash checks, we pay bills, we make loans like no one will.
Take a pause.
When you can't take care of your cat or dog anymore, you have options. You can ask friends or a shelter to take in your pet. But what if your pet's a horse?
Owners are having health problems. Owners are aging, and they can no longer care for their horses, and they need to surrender them.
Tom Persicino of the ASPCA, now with pilot programs in Oklahoma and Texas with regional support centers for horses. They're billed as a safe place for horse owners to find new homes for their animal. He says the work is rewarding, but it's not easy.
It is emotional. I mean, there have been many days where I've been hugging a client and she's crying, I'm crying, or our coordinator's crying, our vet's crying. It's tough.
The regional support centers have helped out over 100 horses, and Persicino says the ASPCA wants to talk to people who want to help.
Let us try to help other communities and other municipalities set up similar programs.
Want to help? Head to aspca.org and do a search on equine welfare. Take a pause. Jill Nato, Fox News.
The Mississippi Power Weather Center. Your weather now.
Partly sunny today. We'll see a 20% chance of an afternoon shower, high mid to upper 70s. It'll be mostly cloudy tonight. The low only 68. Cloudy again tomorrow. Highs mid to upper 70s. Tomorrow night, mostly cloudy. The low 69. On Friday, 40% chance of showers, possibly a thunderstorm in the afternoon. Cloudy, high 78. Visit MississippiPower.com/ways to save to learn about programs and resources that can help you save energy and money on your electric bill.
He's the former president and publisher of the Sun Herald, and now he's on the radio. Welcome to Coast View with Ricky Matthews on SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1.
Welcome back to Coast View. I'm sitting here with Robbie D'Angelo, who told us in the last segment about his journey. He, through depression, through 308 pounds as an offensive lineman for Southern Miss. How much do you weigh today?
Right now, I'm actually about 215, probably.
Wow, that's incredible. And you look, your body weight. I mean, your fat percentage probably is very low, huh?
It's a healthy fat percentage. We'll say that.
But he's been through a journey. I think a journey that a lot of people can probably relate to. I mean, people have gone through. Everyone goes through these moments in their life that are difficult, and this constant thing that continues to come back up again is the mental framework to tackle it. It's not about physically tackling it. It's really about mentally tackling it with a frame of mind that gives you an opportunity to succeed in your life. And if you can get fit in the process, that's great as well. But it's really about the mindset. So why don't we do this? Continue the conversation. And let's, what I want to hear is as you continue to understand how to succeed in your own life, how did that begin to impact you in terms of how you began to understand, gosh, I can really affect other people's lives with the things that I'm learning, and you've had a lot of success with that. So let's continue through that.
Well, I would say here's what I had to learn with impact to others. When I originally lost over 100 pounds in a year, of course, people are going to ask you, hey, how'd you do it? What's your secret? And I'm like, guys, there really is no secret to eating healthy and moving. Mm-hmm. And that's really the way I did it. When I was playing college football, this number kind of shocks people, but I was eating 10 to 12,000 calories a day. And it was, okay, tonight let's go eat 2 footlongs from Subway. Let's order 2 large pizzas from Domino's. Like, I was just doing all those things just to get calories in me. But then my weight loss journey was nothing more than me learning for myself what healthy food was. I was a little prideful and hard-headed at the time, so I didn't have access to a trainer or anything like that. I couldn't afford it. I was a broke college student. So there's this amazing thing called the internet. And I just started researching, hey, what's healthy food look like? What's a healthy meal look like? I never was taught what an actual plate of healthy food looks like. So I had to start researching that. I'd always grown up playing football, so I knew how to work out, but I didn't know how to work out now for my damaged body. So I started researching that. What's a smarter way to do things versus, the hard-headed, animalistic way I've always done things my entire life. And I just started researching. I started learning. And I had to learn really what works for me. Because there's a lot of people out there that, are genetically skinny and have great metabolisms. And if I go on their diet, I'm going to end up gaining weight.
Right.
So I had to learn what works for me. And, kind of a point that we keep going back to was it was kind of my first point of really being in a growth mindset. And when it came to helping people, I started helping people because everybody's always asked me, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Well, hey, here's what I'm doing. And for about a 10-year period, I was just helping people as they asked me. I wasn't charging for it. I'm just like, look, And it's funny. Here's the funny thing about it. I would ask people, I'm like, look, if you really want my help, keep me a 3-day meal log and bring it to me, and then we'll go over it and I'll help you. The percentage of people that actually got that back to me, that simple task, I would say was probably 1 out of 20. Because look, I'm always willing to help people, but I need you to show me some initiative that you actually want to do this. Mm-hmm. And that was a big learning lesson for me. And so I started helping people. I started just passing along knowledge. But really what started my real journey into impacting lives was when I was approached about writing a book. And in me being a natural shy introvert was a scary thought. So I turned it down for probably 6 weeks, kind of the similar story to you in this talk show. I kept turning it down. I was like, no, I can't write a book. Like, no. Finally, after much persistence, I finally said, okay, I'll explore the opportunity. Like, I'll explore the thought process of writing a book. And what clicked to me was, hey, Robbie, as you've been going through life, you've been helping people on a one-off basis. But you have like this passion inside you, this drive inside you to want to help more people. What better way to do that than to tell your story in a book and just distribute it to the masses, be on Amazon, be able to purchase it worldwide. Like, that's an opportunity for you to help more people. And that's when it kind of clicked to me, like, okay, that's why you need to write the book. The book is not about you. The book is about the people that you want to help and serve. And one of the most amazing things happened in the book writing process. So my entire life up to that point, I was trying to figure out who I was. I had no clue, because me trying to live up to everyone else's expectations, not my own, I had no clue who I was as a person. So during that process, I got really good at asking other people questions, because I interviewed over 100 people to get their input on the book. So I got really good at asking exploratory questions. And my favorite question is why? Well, why'd you do that? Why'd you think that? What emotion led to that? And I got really good at asking those questions, but I realized I had to turn those on to myself. You're pulling all this information out of other people, Rob. You need to do that for yourself. The first chapter of the book is my own story. When I first sat down to write my own story, Ricky, it was a page long. I had boiled 28 years of my life down to a page. And I looked, I'm like, this is sad. So I went through the journey of self-awareness and realizing, hey, Rob, you're overweight your entire life. Like, why? Hey, Rob, you made these crazy decisions. Why? And I started looking at those reasons and looking at, hey, everything I was doing in my life was not for me, it was for other people. I was seeking external validation my entire life, and that's why I was making every decision I was making. So writing my own story was probably the biggest turning point in my life, because it just gave me insight on my own decision-making process, and it gave me the power now to make better decisions. And what publishing the book did for me was I was still scared. I was so scared to publish this book, because is it good enough? Are people going to like it? Did I just waste 6 months of my life writing this book? Did I waste money because we went through a boutique publisher? Did I just waste money publishing this book? And I got back to work. I was still working in commercial real estate at the time. I got back to work after going to a publishing event in LA, and a lady pulls me aside, and she pulls me to an office, and like a tear starts running down her face. And she's like, Robbie, I had no idea. I was like, I'm back in work mode. I had no clue what she's talking about. She's like, I had no idea you went through all that. I was like, oh, this is why. This is why you're meant to write this book, is because people need to know they're not alone. People need to know that, hey, we're in this fight together. The same things you're thinking in your head, everyone in the room is thinking the same things. I tell a lot of my clients now when they go to the gym and they have, like, how many people listening right now have gym insecurity, right? Where they're insecure about going to the gym because they're scared of being judged. Let's be honest about that. Everyone in the gym is thinking the same exact thought. They're thinking about their own insecurity, not you and how you look. So like I started realizing that, and that really for me said, okay, this is what you're supposed to be doing. This is the impact that you're supposed to have in this world. Now let's get really good at affecting change.
When you've been through those things, Robbie, and when we talk to people who now are feeling this fear, uncertainty, and doubt that we talked about at the beginning of the show, it enables you to be empathetic. You're able to really understand where they're coming from, because your journey is really not unlike most people's journeys. They always have these turns in their life. There's adversity in everyone's life.
Absolutely.
And how are they going to deal with those adverse moments? and how's it going to change their life, and what are they going to do about it? Here we are facing another adverse moment. As we begin to kind of turn the conversation toward, what people might be thinking and what they might be going through now, what's like at the top of your list, what you would say to people today?
Today, I would say, let's remain calm and positive. I think with all the uncertainty and all the anxiety that's in the country right now, yes, educate yourself. Use small doses of the news. Get what you need from the news, but don't put it into your ears 24/7. I'm huge on your mental diet. Like, everybody knows your physical diet, but I'm really big on people's mental diet. Negativity is 7 to 10 times more powerful than positivity. So when you're listening to the news 24/7 and the doom and gloom, you're of course going to have a negative outlook on life. So get what you need to from the news, but then focus on what you can control. I think the locus of control that people need to think about is, okay, what do I need to do right now for the best of myself and my family? And that is things like social distancing. Things like, hey, I need to go purchase a week's of food, not 4 years of food like everybody's trying to do right now. I don't need a year's worth of toilet paper in my house. I need enough until I can get back to the grocery store, which, grocery stores are going to stay open. This isn't like a hurricane where everything's going to be gone next week. Like, stores are going to stay open. You're still going to have access to food and medical and all that. So I think it's really focusing right now on what you can control. You can control your mental health right now. You can control your physical health. You can control the positivity in your home. I was listening to someone this morning talk about, our kids model our behavior. And what are you showing your kids at home right now about how you handle a crisis? I think that's huge for people right now too. Show your kids that, hey, look, life happens, and this is how we're going to fight through it. And, Coast people were so resilient.
Yeah, I read something last night that I thought really applied well, and it is that right now people are wanting to just get as much news as they can get, but really what is most important right now is to learn specifically what you can do, and that's probably not going to change very much. So, even experts who are in the media industry are saying, just find the source you trust and quit trying to have all these inputs come in, because it's not changing anything. All it's doing is reestablishing in your mind fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And right now we just need to settle things down, think about, what can I do at this moment, and how do we get through the next, few days, weeks, whatever it's going to be. We'll be back with Robbie D'Angelo after this break, and we'll give you some very specific advice about what you might be able to do at home while you're thinking through this. We'll be back after this break.
Since 1950, when you needed help and advice from an experienced attorney, you turned to Boyce Holloman and Associates. Standing on the principles of experience, integrity, and results, Boyce Holloman and Associates can help you and your family with a variety of legal matters. When you come to Boyce Holloman and Associates of Gulfport, every client, every case gets the level of service from attorneys and staff who honor the legacy of Boyce Holloman's tradition of excellence. See Dean and Tim Holloman at Boyce Holloman and Associates, 1720 23rd Avenue, Gulfport.
Eric Ohms. I'm an athletic trainer and serve as the sports medicine coordinator for Encore Rehab. I'm over our sports medicine program, sending athletic trainers to 21 high schools. One of the big things that we're looking at now is concussions. The things that you should look for when it comes to concussions on whether or not you should bring your child to the hospital are changes in behavior, vomiting, any worsening of a headache or dizziness, also visual problems or abnormal drowsiness. Any of these things you should send your child to the hospital as soon as possible. It is now state law. In 2014, Mississippi passed a state law that says anybody, any athlete that is suspected of suffering a concussion must be removed immediately from play, cannot be returned to play until they see a physician. And so our athletic trainers have a standardized protocol, a step-by-step that they follow when it comes to suspected concussions of the high school and junior high athletes.
Have you wanted to speak a new language, but you thought it'd be too hard or take too much time? Then go to Babbel.com, download the app, and try it for free. In just 15 minutes a day, you'll be on your way to speaking a new language in just a few weeks. And right now, you can try Babbel for free. Babbel starts out teaching you words and phrases by matching them with pictures. You won't believe how easy the interactive program is. Soon the sentences get a little bigger, and before you know it, you're having simulated conversations voiced by native speakers. And because Babbel is crafted by language experts and uses the spaced repetition method, in just 10 to 15 minutes a day, you'll be speaking the language of your choice with real confidence. With Babbel, you can speak a language. Just go to Babbel.com and start your first lesson in the language of your choice for free. Download the Babbel app or go to Babbel.com and try it for free. That's BABBEL.com.
When you need to pick up a last-minute birthday card or gift, stop into Love's Pharmacy and Gifts in Pass Christian. Yes, Love's is a full-service pharmacy combining local hospitality and affordability. When half of the store has unique gifts, beautiful decorations for your home, fragrances, and free gift wrapping, you only have to make one stop. Love's Pharmacy and Gifts, 12345 Vidalia Road in Pass Christian. If you love great service with a smile, you'll love Love's Pharmacy, with a second location now open in Ocean Springs.
This is House Call for Health. Medical researchers spend years developing drugs to treat cancer, but it's possible the next big cancer-fighting breakthrough could already be in your medicine cabinet. Scientists have long known that a drug for one ailment can sometimes be effective in treating something else. Aspirin is the most famous example. Researchers at Harvard, MIT, and the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute tested more than 4,500 existing medications. They found 48 drugs that killed at least some cancer cells. These drugs are for several different conditions, including diabetes, inflammation, and alcoholism. One drug is used for treating arthritis in dogs. Researchers in the journal Nature Cancer said the medications sometimes worked in different ways than mainstream cancer drugs. Now they hope these drugs can be further developed into true new weapons against cancer. For more health news, go to foxnewshealth.com. House Call for Health. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
It's a great time to be on the coast, and we love talking about it. Welcome to Coast View with Ricky Matthews on SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1.
Welcome back to Coast View. We have Robbie D'Angelo here, who is, a human optimization expert, which is essentially this. He helps people change your way of thinking so you can improve yourself. Essentially, that's what he does. And we just went on his journey. We've talked a lot about, how he came to think the way he does today. And what we want to do now is give you some practical advice for, as you're hunkered down, as you're with your family, as you're thinking about, maybe you worked out before, maybe you didn't. Let's talk a little bit about just practical advice for people to start to get their mind in the right framework, because this could last a few days or weeks. So let's talk about that, Robbie.
Right. So I think the first thing people can start doing, especially the people who love working out, is YouTube's going to be your best friend right now. And it's going to give you access to at-home workouts. Follow your favorite influencer. And a lot of the people that I know in the influencer world, the yoga instructors, the fitness people, they're literally going online and giving away their knowledge for free, saying, hey, look, if you're at home, do this. This is your yoga routine for the day. This is your bodybuilding routine for the day. They're giving away all this access to their knowledge for free right now. And what an amazing time to learn from some of the smartest people in the world and still get your workouts. And I think the biggest thing that I want people to do right now is you're at home with your family. Get your whole family to do it. Mm-hmm. Your kids included. Make it a family event. Hey, guys, today at 2 o'clock, we're going to do our workout. Mm-hmm. And by doing that, you're going to be able to build a stronger relationship with your family. In normal society, people are so busy that we never really get a chance to form those deep relationships. So what an opportunity now to spend time with your family and really just cherish that time, because let's be honest, we don't get a lot of this in today's world. So do family workouts together. Go out in your backyard. I mean, yeah, you can't go to the park and do all that stuff, but you can go out in your backyard or your front yard, and guys, just do like a little short workout routine together. Go get some vitamin D from the sun. Which you need. Even though you're practicing social distancing, go get some sunlight, please, for your health. Don't stay cooped up inside all day. And do a family workout. Use this time, too. We're going to talk about that's physical fitness, and guys, that's so easy to do. Use this time, too. Like if you would normally go have coffee with a friend, guys, technology is amazing. Have a coffee virtual date with a friend. One of the influencers I follow, she's doing right now like these wine mixers at night, where people are getting into these group apps and they're just having wine with each other and just still practicing building relationships, still practicing social interaction, even though we're practicing social distancing. So there's ways to work on your mental health. There's ways to work on your physical health right now. And I think this is an opportunity to learn that skill that you've always been like, hey, learn how to play guitar right now. Practice the piano, learn a new language. You're home right now and you have more free time. Use that to better yourself. Like, don't just sit inside and worry about the world coming to an end, because it's not going to. Use this time to practice a new skill, build relationships. Those phone calls with your friends from college that you've been putting off for 10 years, have those phone calls right now. Touch base with that family member that you need to touch base with. Build a community right now of your neighbors online saying, hey guys, if anyone needs anything, let us know. Like, use Facebook, use Instagram, use email, whatever you need to do to build a community right now of your neighborhood, of your loved ones, that if someone needs help, you can offer help to them. There's so many opportunities right now. One of the things I always tell people is kind of my hashtag is be the hero. And I think now is a great opportunity to do that. We can help so many people, and it doesn't have to be, practiced in person. You could do it online. Reach out to that person you need to reach out to. Have an accountability buddy, which is one of the terms I like using. Saying, hey, did you do your workout today? I did. Hey, did you eat healthy today? I did. Like, use that, use those social relationships right now, because people need that. Even though we're isolated in our homes, that doesn't mean that we isolate from other people. It just means you're physically isolated. And I think loneliness could be a problem right now too. So use technology to maintain those relationships. Yeah. Blow up people's phones, stay video chatting.
Never been a better time to do FaceTime.
Oh, 100%.
I even mentioned, you made a great point. This is a good time to make amends with family or friends that you need to make amends to. They may need you. You just don't know where people are in the world, and there's the stress that people are feeling now could be affecting them in ways that they just need a friend.
Right. And right now you're going to see dredging up of a lot of old emotions that people have been too busy to experience. But right now they're experiencing because their life has slowed down to the point where they're like, oh crap, I didn't even think about that. But now it's coming up and now it won't go away because I don't have any distractions.
And as we wind down, how often do you tell people you got to put the drink down?
Yeah, I mean, you've got to figure out some ways to positively channel your emotions. And I think that's why the relationships are so important. Freaking talk to people. Tell people what's going on in your life. Don't just automatically turn to alcohol or your other vices and addictions to drown out the pain. Express your pain to people. Talk to people about what's going on right now.
So, Robbie, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you joining us today. What a wonderful message for people to hear right now. And, as someone I used to work with, it has all the added advantages of being true. So it's a great message, and I hope people will take it to heart. And if you know someone who needs to hear this conversation, share the podcast with them, share the video with them. Let Robbie's message, let the message of Coast View today sort of permeate, because there's a real opportunity here to take what is unfortunately negative in the short term, make it into a positive. Mm-hmm. And so that's what we want Coast View to do. So we'll look forward to talking to you tomorrow. We'll have Vincent Creel and the Chief of Police from Biloxi, John Miller, and we'll continue the conversation. We'll see you later, Robbie. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, man.
Uh-huh.